morning, everyone. This is John with Gun.Deals. Today, we are once again talking about the HPA and Short Act, which is currently wrapped up in the big, beautiful bill. But rather than rehashing all of that up front and bearing the lead, I'm just going to get right into the updates. About 24 hours ago, as of time of filming, the Senate parliamentarian removed the HPA and Short Act from the Senate bill, citing a violation of the Byrd Rule, meaning that it does not fit within the scope of a budgetary bill. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Senate parliamentarian is, well, you're like me and most people, because it's supposed to be a nonpartisan position that really doesn't do much except make sure people follow the rules. There's only been 6 of them, and the current one has been serving for about 12 years and hasn't really done anything of note. The original position was created in the 1930s, and again, keep in mind that this is supposed to be a nonpartisan position, so purely a objective viewer. However, in modern politics, that's kind of not possible. Now, that being said, the HPA and Short Act were struck from the big, beautiful bill. However, there was a Plan B put in place. Rather than removing the NFA restrictions completely, they had a revised version that simply took the tax from $200 down to $0. So then they submitted the revised version of those bills, which again removes the tax element, but keeps them on the actual NFA, and then that will have to pass the bird bath, as it's being called, by the Senate parliamentarian. And as of right now, that is where it sits. Now, most people that I've seen speculating on the outcome of this revised version of the Short and HPA say that it's probably not going to pass either, because again, the Senate parliamentarian can simply say no. Now, not to get too deep into the politics behind it, but the current parliamentarian can technically be fired or vetoed, but that may or may not happen. But let's go into the theory crafting land of the HPA and the Short Act pass, still attached to the NFA, but a $0 tax stamp. While that is very unfortunate, it would still be a large win to most people. I know a lot of people purchased suppressors on layaway in the hopes that the $200 tax stamp would be gone away, and then they can just simply purchase them on a 4473. However, in effect, what this would do is it would still create a gold rush, quote unquote, of NFA purchases, because the $200 tax stamp would be removed. So very inexpensive suppressors and SBRs would now be back on the menu as far as that's concerned. A lot of people would also still be apprehensive of giving fingerprints, background checks, and all of the other enhanced securities that go along with the NFA process. So while it's still going to create a boon if it passes, you're probably not going to see the same gold rush or landslide of suppressor purchases, SBR purchases, that you would if they had passed in their full capacity. And as it stands right now, unless the current Senate parliamentarian is removed or overruled, it's very unlikely that even the neutered version of the HPA and Short Act pass inside the big, beautiful bill. So the most likely outcome, yet again, is that nothing ever happens. But that is the quick update on the HPA and the Short Act. Go ahead and let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. You can, of course, reach out to your local senator if you believe that that would help. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace off.